Every meaningful change in life begins with a decision to take responsibility. Until a person accepts that their current situation is the result of past choices, real progress remains impossible. Blaming circumstances, luck, the economy, or other people may feel comforting, but it robs an individual of power. The moment responsibility is accepted, control is restored. When you realize that your decisions shape your direction, you also realize that you have the ability to change that direction. Responsibility brings clarity. It forces honest self-reflection and eliminates excuses. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? The better question becomes, what can I do next? This shift in thinking transforms problems into opportunities for growth. It builds confidence, because confidence is not the absence of fear, but the belief that you can respond effectively to challenges. When responsibility is embraced, life is no longer something that happens to you. It becomes something you actively design. Clarity is the next essential step. Without clarity, effort is scattered and progress is slow. Many people work hard every day, yet feel stuck, because they have not clearly defined what they want. Clear goals act as a compass guiding decisions and actions. They remove confusion and replace it with purpose. When you know exactly what you are aiming for, it becomes easier to say no to distractions and yes to meaningful progress. Clarity also creates motivation that lasts. Temporary motivation comes from emotion, but lasting motivation comes from purpose. Writing goals down, visualizing outcomes, and defining timelines turn dreams into commitments. The mind works best when it has specific instructions. Vague intentions lead to vague results, while clear direction produces measurable progress. Clarity allows you to measure success, adjust your path, and stay engaged in the process. Responsibility and clarity work together. Responsibility gives you ownership, and clarity gives you direction. One without the other creates imbalance. Responsibility without clarity leads to hard work with no destination. Clarity without responsibility leads to dreaming without action. Together, they form the foundation of transformation. When you accept responsibility and gain clarity, your standards rise. You become more intentional with your time, energy, and decisions. You stop reacting to life and start leading it. This is where the 6-month transformation truly begins, not with external changes, but with an internal commitment to ownership and purpose. Once this foundation is in place, every step forward becomes more focused, meaningful, and powerful. Daily habits are the invisible forces shaping every outcome in life. What a person repeatedly does, whether intentionally or unconsciously, determines their future. Big goals often fail not because they are unrealistic, but because daily actions do not support them. Success is built quietly through small disciplines practiced when no one is watching. These daily choices may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time they compound into extraordinary results. Most people wait for motivation before they act, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes, influenced by mood, circumstances, and energy levels. Habits, on the other hand, operate independently of emotion. When an action becomes habitual, it no longer requires intense effort or willpower. This is why disciplined routines are more powerful than bursts of enthusiasm. A person who commits to consistent habits will always outperform someone who relies on occasional inspiration. Small improvements practiced daily lead to long-term transformation. Reading a few pages every day may not seem life-changing, but over months it expands knowledge, perspective, and confidence. Exercising for a short period daily builds strength, focus, and discipline that carry into other areas of life. Practicing a skill consistently sharpens ability, increases value. These actions may feel minor, but when repeated daily, they reshape identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, grows, and improves. Habits also work in both directions. Just as positive habits build success, negative habits quietly create limitations. Procrastination, distraction, And poor routines steal time and energy without immediate consequence, but their long-term cost is high. This is why awareness is essential. To change your results, you must first observe your daily patterns. Replace one poor habit with a better one, and the trajectory of your life begins to shift. Consistency is the true secret. It is not about doing something perfectly. It is about doing it repeatedly. Miss a day and return the next. Progress is not destroyed by small setbacks, but by quitting altogether. The goal is not intensity, but persistence over time. Consistent effort builds momentum, and momentum builds confidence. When habits align with goals, life starts to move forward naturally. Success no longer feels forced because daily actions support long-term vision. In 6 months, the person who commits to small, positive habits will not only see better results, but will become someone capable of achieving even greater goals. Personal growth is the engine behind every lasting achievement. A person's external results rarely improve without an internal upgrade. Income, influence, confidence, and opportunity tend to grow only as much as the individual grows. This is why focusing solely on outcomes without developing skills and mindset often leads to frustration. Sustainable success begins with becoming more capable, more aware, and more disciplined. Learning is a lifelong process, not a phase. The world rewards those who are willing to improve continuously. Developing new skills increases value, and increased value creates new opportunities. Communication, leadership, problem solving, and emotional control are not optional traits for success. They are essential. When individuals invest time in learning, they expand what they can contribute. And contribution is always rewarded in some form. Mindset plays a critical role in personal growth. What you believe about yourself shapes what you attempt, and what you attempt shapes what you achieve. Limiting beliefs quietly restrict potential, while empowering beliefs open doors to action. Growth requires challenging old assumptions and replacing them with better questions and stronger standards. Instead of asking, "Can I do this?" growth-oriented thinking asks, "What must I learn to make this possible?" This shift transforms obstacles into lessons and setbacks into feedback. Environment strongly influences growth, often more than willpower. The people you spend time with, the information you consume, and the conversations you engage in all shape your thinking. Surrounding yourself with individuals who value progress raises your expectations of yourself. Exposure to positive ideas, meaningful discussions, and constructive feedback accelerates development. A supported environment does not remove challenges, but it strengthens your ability to face them. Growth also requires intentional protection of focus. Distractions dilute effort and slow progress. Limiting negative inputs and unproductive influences creates mental space for learning and reflection. Growth thrives in an environment where attention is directed toward improvement rather than comparison or complaint. When personal growth becomes a priority, confidence increases naturally. Confidence is built through competence, and competence is built through learning and practice. Over time, this growth creates a powerful ripple effect. As skills improve and mindset strengthens, decisions become wiser, actions become more effective, and results begin to change. In a 6-month period, consistent personal development and a supportive environment can elevate not only what you achieve, but who you become. Action is the point where intention turns into reality. Knowledge, ideas, and plans hold no value unless they are applied consistently. Many people know what to do, yet few do it long enough to see results. The difference between average outcomes and meaningful success is not intelligence or talent, but the willingness to act even when conditions are imperfect. Progress belongs to those who move forward despite uncertainty. Discipline is more reliable than motivation. Motivation is emotional and temporary, but discipline is a decision repeated daily. Waiting to feel inspired often leads to delay, while disciplined action builds momentum. Each small action taken strengthens self-trust, and self-trust fuels confidence. When you prove to yourself that you can follow through, even on difficult days, your belief in your own ability grows stronger. Consistent action creates momentum, and momentum simplifies success. What once felt difficult becomes routine through repetition. Tasks that initially require effort become easier as skills improve and resistance fades. This momentum reduces the mental load of decision-making and increases efficiency. Action, taken consistently, removes doubt and replaces it with evidence of progress. Reflection is equally important. Without reflection, effort can become misdirected. Taking time to review progress allows for smarter adjustments and better decisions. Reflection turns experience into wisdom. It highlights what is working, reveals what is not, and encourages continuous improvement. This process prevents stagnation and ensures that effort remains aligned with long-term goals. Adjustment is not failure. It is intelligence. The ability to adapt while maintaining commitment separates growth from frustration. Goals may remain the same, but strategy often need refinement. Those who succeed are not the ones who never struggle, but the ones who learn, adjust, and continue moving forward. Progress should be measured realistically. Perfection is not required for transformation. Small wins matter because they build belief and reinforce consistency. Over time, these small wins compound into meaningful results. The focus should always be on forward movement, not flawless execution. Over a 6-month period, disciplined action combined with regular reflection creates powerful change. Effort becomes more effective, direction becomes clearer, and confidence strengthens. This balance of doing and reviewing ensures that success is not accidental, but intentional and repeatable. Long-term success requires patience and respect for time. Many people quit too early because they expect visible results before the process has had time to work. Growth often happens quietly before it becomes obvious. In the early stages, effort may feel unrewarded, but beneath the surface, skills are developing, habits are strengthening, and mindset is shifting. Those who understand this remain committed even when progress feels slow. Time is either an ally or an enemy, depending on how it is used. When daily actions are aligned with clear goals, time multiplies effort through compounding. Small improvements made consistently do not stay small. They build upon one another, creating exponential growth. This is why a 6-month period, when used intentionally, can create results that seem surprising to others but feel earned to the person who stayed consistent. Commitment is tested most when excitement fades. The beginning of any plan feels energizing, but true character is revealed in the middle when results are not yet visible and routine replaces enthusiasm. This is where most people stop, not because the plan failed, but because patience did. Staying committed during this phase separates temporary effort from lasting change. Trusting the process does not mean being passive. It means continuing to show up, refine actions, and believe that effort will be rewarded in time. Confidence grows when you honor commitments to yourself each day you follow through. Even without immediate reward, you reinforce the identity of someone who finishes what they start. Identity change is one of the most powerful outcomes of sustained effort. Perspective is essential during this phase. 6 months is a short period compared to years of frustration caused by inconsistency. When effort is viewed as an investment rather than a sacrifice, discipline becomes easier. You are not giving something up. You are building something valuable. This shift in perspective transforms effort into purpose. Consistency over time creates credibility with yourself. Self-belief is strengthened not by positive thinking alone, but by repeated proof of action. When you look back and see months of steady effort, confidence becomes unshakable. You no longer question whether change is possible because you have evidence that it is happening. By respecting time, staying patient, and remaining committed, the 6-month journey becomes more than a plan. It becomes a turning point. What begins as disciplined effort ends as personal transformation, setting a standard that continues long after the 6 months are complete. When all these principles come together, Transformation becomes not only possible, but inevitable. Responsibility creates ownership. Clarity provides direction. Habits build structure. Growth expands capacity. Action produces momentum. And patience allows time to work its magic. None of these elements work in isolation, but together they form a powerful system for lasting change. This is how ordinary effort turns into extraordinary results. 6 months may not seem long, but when lived with intention, it can redefine a lifetime. The true reward is not just improved results, but a stronger mindset, higher standards, and deeper self-belief. You begin to trust yourself, your discipline, and your ability to follow through. That trust becomes the foundation for future success. The process requires commitment, not perfection. Progress will come through consistent effort, honest reflection, and steady improvement. Each day you choose growth over comfort, responsibility over excuses, and action over delay. You move closer to the life you envision. Transformation does not arrive dramatically. It unfolds quietly through daily decisions. Stay focused, stay patient, and stay committed. When 6 months pass, you will not only see the change, you will feel it in who you have become.